Hi friends, welcome back to Ouroboros Tarot. So today's pick a card reading is looking into how they see you as well as the connection. I have 4 piles for you to choose from today. Pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. Go ahead and pause this video if you need to. Take as much time as you need to find the pile that sits right with your energy as well as with your person's energy, and I will see you in a minute. Hi pile 1. So today's pick a card reading is looking into how they see you and the connection. So let's go ahead and first look at the oracle cards that represent how they see you. We have the whale and we have the student. Okay, this is really beautiful. They view you as somebody who is constantly intentionally evolving. You are somebody who is constantly looking in the mirror, is constantly observing others, and is seeking knowledge, is actively seeking ways in which to be a better person, to be the best version of yourself, to be somebody who can face their fears. It wouldn't surprise me if you're somebody who actively goes to therapy or who is really interested in like the self-help section of the library. You just seem to be somebody in their eyes that isn't afraid to admit when they're wrong and is more than willing to put in the work when it comes to your connections so that they can be successful. And with the whale here, what I'm picking up on is this ability within yourself. There's such an emotional depth to you, according to them. There's such an emotional depth and a heart space that is vibrating very loudly in their perspective. You seem to be somebody who is really open to talking about your feelings or listening to other people express how they feel, even if it means that something negative on your end has to be addressed. It's just very sweet energy, very warm energy, very inviting energy. This person really looks at you and thinks, wow, this is a very good person trying their hardest in life, trying their hardest to not harm others, to leave a mark on the world that's warm and positive and happy. Even if you struggle with your own happiness or your own peace, inner peace, it seems like you're the kind of person from their perspective who would never hurt a fly, would never let that spill over onto someone else, and would never want someone to feel perhaps the ways in which you have felt in the past. And because of that, you're such a warm person. But let's look into how they see this connection currently. We have number 40, co-create. Number 6, divine feminine. And the eternal child. Your person views this connection as something that has a whole lot of possibility. They see you and this connection as something that is holding up a mirror and helping them see how wonderful they are. There's just such a positive element to this in which they're realizing aspects about themselves, beautiful aspects about themselves that they hadn't realized before. And it's because they've met you. It's because you've held up a mirror to them. And in doing so, there's a huge amount of inspiration here, and also a really strong desire, I would say, for them to keep their heart space open, even if it's very scary for them, because they have a very strong feeling that this connection is meant to bring them abundance of all different kinds. And with the divine feminine here, it feels like this connection is something that is helping them learn how to accept love, when in the past perhaps they've run from love or avoided it at all costs. They've preferred in the past perhaps to isolate themselves, to remain alone, and this time they're ready to receive. With the eternal child here, there's also it's just such an innocent, warm feeling of joy. This connection is something that they find to be very fun, very enjoyable, and just heartwarming. Everything here is just so lovely. So, if that is resonating for you, let's look into how they're feeling. How is pile one's person feeling about pile one and about their connection? Okay, we have Temperance, the Six of Wands, and the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, so the first thing that stood out to me is this Temperance card. I've never seen a Temperance card that looks like this, but it looks like a stork that's carrying something, carrying, a present, a gift. It's birthing something, which I think is very, very interesting. And I could be wrong. I could be very wrong, but that's the image that I saw when is this a stork? I think. But whatever, that's what I saw, and the message came to me that they feel like this connection is triggering so many gifts to start appearing for them. It's like they're walking on sunshine and they have no other option but to be victorious. Like there's not even going to be an opportunity for failure to happen. With the Ten of Pentacles here, this is it's long lasting. Another thing that comes with the eternal child is this idea of timelessness. And with the Ten of Pentacles here, it feels like they see this standing the test of time. Like perhaps you guys could potentially have a family together or dive into business endeavors together. There's just an element here of creating a legacy with you, and they feel very strongly like they're going to be able to. Girl, can you move, please? Move out of the way, please. Oh, goodness, girl. Okay. Let's keep going. Okay, and now we have the Nine of Cups. It's like a dream come true. They're really hopeful. They're very hopeful that this connection is going to bring them something, so long as they keep their heart space open. It seems like they're trying very, very hard to keep their heart space open, even though they realize that by doing so, they could lose a lot, because this means so much to them. This connection means so much to them. You mean a lot to them. They really like you, to say the least. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles. There's a lot here indicating that they don't see this as like a fling or a really nice time that's going to end in the near future. They see this as something that's pretty stable. They feel very secure in this connection. Is there another one? Ah, yes, and then we have the King of Swords, the Two of Swords, this first one. The Ace of Cups, the Four of Wands, and then we have the Eight of Wands and the Nine of Wands. And then on the back of the deck, we have the Page of Cups. Okay. So for the King of Swords to be coming out right underneath Temperance, I feel like this is a realization that they've fairly recently had. Like perhaps in the past this has been a situation in which it wasn't the most stable, or perhaps this person was really closed off, but something has happened here. There's been a moment of like an aha moment for this person in which they have realized that there are so many wonderful reasons as to why they should go after this connection and keep their heart space open. There are so many reasons as to why they should trust in you. And this realization, I think, has caused them to look at their own indifferences that perhaps in the past they had. And now suddenly they're realizing that they should be charging toward this connection. There's a lot of love here too. Like I said earlier, they like you a lot. For a lot of you, this is love. Love that's not a whirlwind romance. This is not the kind of love that is just passion-filled and, you look back on it one day after a 3-month affair and you think, wow, that was a whirlwind of emotions and passion and desire. There could have been that in the past, but at this point, this person's emotions are strong, overflowing, and they desire to have that happy ending with you. And what's the happy ending? They want to be able to call you home, or perhaps they already do. Perhaps they already do call you home. But I think for a lot of you, with the Eight of Wands and the Nine of Wands, this hasn't been communicated as clearly as it could be. And it's something that weighs really heavily on them, knowing that they need to. There's an element of immaturity here for sure on their end, with the Page of Cups being the Knight of Cups being the bottom of the deck energy. This isn't somebody who's evolved into a full-on king yet, but they're well on their way. And if we look, I think it's interesting that I put this card here. I didn't even think about it. I just did it. But the image of this swan is looking directly at all of the emotions that this person is feeling. They have not turned their back on these feelings. They're allowing themselves to feel them, to acknowledge them, to process them, and hopefully in the near future to express them to you. But let's look into what it is that they desire with you more. What does pile one's person want with pile one? What are their desires? No one is yours but you. Volcano. The lonely journey of the priestess. And alchemy. This is so beautiful. So, number 41, no one is yours but you. I know this can seem like it can appear like a card that is kind of riddled with avoidance, but that's not what's happening here. Sometimes when this card gets pulled, I do feel as though this is indicative of somebody who does not want to be tied down. But what I'm sensing here is that what they desire the most with you is to have a connection in which both you and them are emotionally secure in yourselves, so that you don't have to become codependent on one another. They're desiring to have a partnership with you in which it's healthy, healthy boundaries are being made, and everybody has a life outside of the connection, and everybody has their own autonomy and is interdependent. That's what they desire. They also desire to express this to you. I don't think that they have. With volcano here, this is an explosion of emotions. And also there's desire here. There's desire here for you, but there's also a desire to express what it is that they're feeling, this wake-up call that they've had. The lonely journey of the priestess is telling, from what I see, it feels like they're viewing you as this priestess, and because you're the student, and the priestess goes on a journey alone, because they know that they have higher evolutions to reach, and other people may hold them back. However, once they reach the top, they find that there are other people who have made that journey before. And so what this is telling me is that they want to be on the same playing field as you. They too want to be a student. They too perhaps want to go to therapy or be vulnerable or sit with their uncomfortable feelings. And with alchemy here, all this is telling me is that they want an abundance of love with you. It's all very, very sweet. Last but not least, let's look into what it is that their next move is. And we have number 26, containment of potential. So this again is talking about a sudden explosion or a sudden burst of energy. Their next move is to really put in the work, really put in the effort. Suddenly they are going to have a burst of energy that they are going to put directly toward making this connection, or moving this connection along very quickly. But yeah, let's go ahead and get you some advice. If I can find the cards. We have boxes of cards galore, just everywhere. I love it. What advice is there for pile 1 when it comes to this connection? Okay. Trust. I trust that everything will be okay in the end, partly because I simply know it in my gut, but also because it's way more fun to live with trust and confidence than to be a defensive wiener. And one more. What piece of advice is there for pile 1 when it comes to this connection? Inspiration. There is a voice of inspiration within me. Right now it's only a whisper, but the more I listen, the louder it will get. Soon it will be a flawless speech voiced by James Earl Jones through a megaphone with lots of applause. All right, pile 1, well, this is what I'm seeing for you today. If this resonated, I would love to hear about how it did in the comment section down below. Thank you so much, pile 1, for giving me the chance to read for you, and I hope that I'll have the chance to read for you in another video soon. Bye! Hi, pile 2. So today's pick a card reading is looking into how they see you as well as the connection. So these cards here are going to be indicative of how they're currently seeing you. These are for how they see the connection. We'll also get into how they're currently feeling about you with the tarot. We'll get into what it is that they desire with you, as well as what their next move is. So, pile 2, let's see how they see you. They're looking at you right now as the eagle and as the rebel. So this is telling me that they are currently viewing you as somebody who is incredibly free-spirited, incredibly lighthearted, or if you've gone through difficult times or are currently going through difficult times, you are not somebody who allows the world to stomp you down. You're somebody who looks at what's going on around you and decides, you know what, I don't like this, I'm going to make some changes. There's an element of karmic transformation, of transforming your karma here, and also being able to rise from the ashes. Your person really, I would say, admires you, looks up to you, thinks very, very highly of you, and sees you as somebody who lives life to the fullest and also in exactly the way in which they desire. It could also be with Rebel here that they're seeing you as somebody who thinks very, very differently than them, or very differently than what the norm is, and it intrigues them. It intrigues them immensely. But if that resonates with you, let's go ahead and look into how they see the connection. So we have number 10, Unfinished Symphony. Number 48, Psychic. And The Offering. So they're looking at this connection as something that has not reached its fullest potential yet. It could be that this has slowly started to fizzle out, or that you guys have taken a step back, or things have changed, something else outside of this connection has happened to cause the two of you or one of you to have to focus your energy elsewhere for the time being. But there's an element of things either being left unsaid or actions not having been completed, things not having come full circle yet. And they feel as though there's so much more potential for this connection than what has been realized thus far. They also see this connection as something that makes them highly connected to you. They feel an intuitive connection with you. And with the offering here, I kind of get the feeling that they're seeing this connection as something in which it's worth it to them to make sacrifices or to put themselves out there in order to engage with you, if that's what it takes. They're willing to do whatever it takes in order to keep this connection going. Let's look into how they are currently feeling about you. How is pile 2's person currently feeling about pile 2? Okay. So we have the Hanged Man, the Lovers, the Magician. So one thing that was like, you know, with the offering, I was talking about how there's an element of sacrifice here. One thing that I think they're willing to sacrifice is giving you space, taking time away if that's what you need, not taking action if they don't think it's going to benefit this connection. They're willing to do things that perhaps go against their intuition, or not their intuition, but go against what their initial instinct is to do in order to protect this connection. In order to salvage it or keep it protected, keep it special. I think they feel as though they really can't do much right now besides wait and see. With the Hanged Man and then the Queen of Wands, this is telling me that right now they're actively manifesting you. With the Lovers and the Magician, this is telling me that there's a powerful attraction and very deep emotions that empower them when it comes to how they feel about you. How are they currently feeling about pile 2? Okay, we have the King of Cups, further confirmation that there's a deep level of love here. We have the Three of Cups. You may have friend-zoned them, or there's like an aspect here with the Hanged Man and the Three of Cups of feeling as though the connection is not as deep as they would like it to be. And they're trying to accept it for the time being. Okay. We have the Three of Pentacles, the Two of Pentacles. Again, so with the Magician and the Two of Pentacles, it's like they're really trying to find balance between taking charge and allowing you to show up the way in which you need. And with the Lovers and the Three of Pentacles, they're willing to work. They have like a strong desire to just connect with you in any way, shape, or form. This person is like smitten. How are they currently feeling? We have the Ace of Swords. They know exactly what they want. There's no confusion here about what it is that they want with you. And we have the Four of Swords. More indication that they currently are feeling as though they have to be inactive in order to give you what it is that you need. And then the Devil. They're so smitten with you. They feel attached to you almost. Like there's such a level of attraction and desire and care here. It feels like perhaps they haven't realized it yet, but there might even be an aspect of them betraying themselves or falling short or selling themselves out when it comes to their desires or their needs, simply because they want this so badly with you. Let's look into what it is that they desire. What is it that pile 2's person desires with pile 2? The Sword. The sheep who wandered and found a different shepherd. They're hoping that this connection becomes closer and deeper very, very soon. Or if this connection is kind of in a state of limbo with unfinished symphony here, how there was like this element of like maybe things have fizzled out. What they're really hoping for is to get a clear answer either way, whether or not you're interested in them, or whether or not you want to continue this connection, or whether or not you feel the same way as them. Whatever way they feel like they're in limbo, they want to get out of it, whether or not that's with good news or with bad news. They don't want to be in limbo anymore. They're hoping that you take the lead. And with dependency here, I think they're hoping that, honestly, I think they're hoping that what this is telling me is that they're hoping that you feel the same way. They desire you to feel the same way. They desire you to want them as deeply as they want you. And body as a house. They want to be physical with you. They want to be in union with you if you're not already in union. Let's go ahead and get you guys some advice. What advice is there for pile 2 when it comes to this connection? Oh, you know what? We didn't do this. So this here is what their next action toward you is going to be. And we have number 45, gathering together. So even though it seems like they're trying to give you space or like trying to let you take the lead, even though they're attempting to, they're not going to be able to follow through with 45, gathering together. This is telling me that they're probably going to be reaching out in the near future to make plans with you, to spend time with you. They're definitely wanting to be as close with you as possible right now. Now let's go ahead and get some advice. What advice is there for pile 2 when it comes to this connection? We have gentleness. I speak with gentleness and I listen with gentleness. I align with the gentlest part of myself and I take joy in being receptive, open, and unafraid. I am like a baby deer who's best friends with a baby elephant. The baby elephant wraps its little trunk around my shoulders and we lie down gently on the grass, daydreaming and talking about what sorts of humans the clouds look like. And one more. What piece of advice is there for pile 2 when it comes to this connection? Confidence. In this moment, I take a step back and look at myself with the pride of a good mother. I see an abundance of abilities and talents that show up all the time in big and little ways. If I could stick myself on a refrigerator, I would. I would invite all the neighbors over and say, look at that. Can you believe what an A+ that is? All right, pile 2, well, that's what I'm seeing for you today. If this resonated, I would love to hear about how it did in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for giving me the chance to read for you today, pile 2, and I hope that I'll have the chance to read for you in another video soon. Hello, pile 3. So today's pick a card reading is looking into how they see you and your connection. So these cards here are going to represent how they see you. These are going to represent how they see your connection. This card here is going to be looking into what their next move toward you is going to be. We're also going to pull tarot to see how they're feeling about you, as well as pull some oracle cards to see what it is that they desire with you. And of course, we'll get some advice at the very end. So pile 3, your person is currently viewing you as the spider and as the bully. I get the feeling that this pile in particular is a no contact pile, and your person is viewing you as somebody who couldn't be manipulated. Perhaps they are looking at you resentfully as a bully simply because you stood up for yourself or you knew what your worth was. But there's an element here of viewing you as somebody who's probably come out on top much higher than they did in this connection. They're viewing you as somebody who probably dates or interacts with people very intentionally and doesn't waste their time when things aren't in alignment with who you are or what you want. And I think that they're also, for some of you, viewing you as somebody who perhaps just discarded them or cut them off rather quickly. But yeah, they're looking at you as somebody who is absolutely in their power, regardless of how much they resent you for it. When it comes to how they view this connection, we have number 4, higher power, number 32, healer, and the sustainer. They are viewing this connection as 1, something that they need to heal from, and 2, as something that has really catapulted them towards their own healing, towards looking at themselves and what it is that perhaps is holding them back, their own faults, their own shortcomings. But there's an element of like frustration, resentment, anger here, and recognizing that the only person it's harming is themselves. And there's a desire here to really like let this go, just surrender, but they're kind of upset with how things have turned out. This isn't how they wanted this connection to go. And there's definitely an element of feeling disappointed, and instead of accepting it, they're refusing to accept it, essentially. They're being stubborn. And I don't necessarily mean like they're not accepting that it's over or anything like that. It's more like they're continuously ruminating over what happened and replaying the ugly feelings that they felt, rather than accepting it, acknowledging it, feeling it, and then letting it go. But that's what I'm seeing. Let's look into how they're currently feeling. How are they currently feeling? Okay, we have the 6 of Wands. How are they currently feeling? How is pile 3's person currently feeling? Okay. So we have the 6 of Wands, the 8 of Swords, the Moon, Temperance. Your person is not having a good time, that's for sure. They're stuck in a rut. The 2 of Wands. Okay, so let's start off with these. So with the 6 of Wands here, this is telling me that right now they're still really dealing with their ego, with their pride. The wounds that they're licking have to do with ego wounds rather than like wounds of the heart. And with the 8 of Swords here and the Moon, it's like they're finally starting to wake up to this realization that it takes 2 to tango, and any toxic connection that they've been in, the contributing factor, like the common denominator continuously through any of those, one of the common denominators is them. With Temperance here and the 2 of Wands, they're also realizing that if they are ever to have a healthy connection with others, or if they are ever to feel peace, it's going to have to come from within. It's going to have to be them making an active decision to begin their healing process. They're waking up to this. How are they currently feeling? Yep, we have the Three of Swords coming out right over the Six of Wands. This is further confirming to me that their pride, their ego is hurt. And they're probably also going through an ego death at the moment. Okay, and then we have the Three of Cups. They're preventing their own joy. What they're realizing is that they're preventing their, and they might not even be realizing it entirely yet, like they're waking up to it. But right now, there's not a whole lot of joy in their life, and it's because they're preventing it. The Moon and Judgment tells me that they're currently in a battle with their shadow self. They're currently they're just not in a good place. They're really stuck. We have the Ace of Swords and the World. Yeah, they're realizing that cycles continuously repeat for them. It doesn't matter who they're with or where they are. Cycles always tend to find them, and it's the same cycle continuously repeating itself, and they're finally aware of it. And on the back of the deck, we have the Four of Swords. They're trying to lick their wounds right now. They feel hurt, but also I feel like they know that they probably hurt themselves more than you played into that, if that makes sense. Let's see what it is that they desire with you. Okay. So we have number 12, calm within transformation, cosmic exploration, cast your sacred symbols, and slimy. Okay, so they want these icky feelings to go away. They want to come out of this. There's nothing here really saying that they necessarily want something in particular with you. Rather, I think it's energetically where you two are. They're hoping to shift that into something in which they become a better person because of this connection. They really want to explore why they are the way they are, how they can behave in different ways, how they can heal themselves, and how they can become a good person, a good partner. Let's look into what their next move is. We have number 36, darkening of the light. So I would say that there is no intention on their end to reach out anytime soon. There's no intention to take action toward you. This seems to be more so a time of retreat, a time of shadow work, of healing. Let's go ahead and get you guys some advice. What advice is there? We have ultimate potential. I choose to live a life of my fullest potential. I trust that this will draw me towards experiences and people that support my growth and accomplishment. Tuning into this frequency, I now reach higher heights than I ever thought possible. Knowing that's an option, why would I have ever tuned into anything else? I'm looking at you, Smooth Jazz and Talk Radio. I think that this is really confirming what I was seeing with the bully and the spider, in the sense that your decisions to walk away from things that are not in alignment with you are exactly what you are meant to be doing right now. And your guides are confirming this. Your guides are applauding you. What advice is there for pile 3? And we also have engagement. Today I make the conscious choice to engage with the world in an active way. I'll take a new route and talk to strangers. I will smell flowers and pet dogs and maybe walk around barefoot for a while if I'm not inside a 7-Eleven. At the very least, I'll have a day that's slightly more interesting than average, and at the most, I'll have a startling epiphany or make a friend who will change my life forever. No pressure. All right, pile 3, well, this is what I'm seeing for you today. If this resonated, I would love to hear about how it did in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for giving me the chance to read for you, and I hope that I'll have the chance to read for you in another video soon. Bye! Hi pile 4. So today's pick a card reading is looking into how they see you and your connection. So these cards here are going to represent how they're currently seeing you. These are going to represent how they see the connection. this is going to indicate what their next move toward you is going to be. We'll pull tarot to see what they're currently feeling for you, and we'll also pull some oracle cards to see what it is that they desire with you. So, pile 4, when it comes to how your person sees you, we have the Firefly and the Trickster. Your person sees you as somebody who they can't quite put their finger on, or they can't quite catch. Like, you don't want to be tied down perhaps, or you come in and out of their life. It's like they see you as somebody who is so warm and inviting and special and beautiful to look at. They're very attracted to you. But as soon as you come into their life, it's like you slip through their fingers. And they're not necessarily sure whether or not they can trust you, whether or not you're in it for the long haul, or if you're just here for a good time. When it comes to how they see this connection, we have number 27, exchanging gifts, number 46, power, and the unseen. So, first and foremost, with the unseen here, I get the feeling that they really don't know if they know what's going on in this connection all the way. It seems to be an overpowering feeling for them that they don't know if they can trust you, or they don't know where they stand. It feels like there are things that are being hidden from them that energetically they can feel, but they don't know what it is, and it's overpowering them right now. It's overpowering their senses. It's overpowering where they're focusing their energy. With exchanging gifts and power, I also get the feeling that they feel as though they are giving more to this connection currently, and they don't have any power. You have all the power. You have all the power because they're all in, and they don't think that you are. But let's look into how they're feeling, what their feelings are for you. What are pile 4's person's feelings for pile 4? Okay. We have the Page of Pentacles. What are their feelings? Okay, so we have the Page of Pentacles, the Page of Wands, the Page of Swords, okay, we have the Five of Pentacles, oh wow, okay, the King of Cups, the Six of Cups, the Eight of Wands, the Two of Cups, the Three of Wands, and we have the Two of Swords. And then on the back of the deck, we have the Queen of Swords. Okay, so how are they currently feeling? Man, this person is in their feels for you. This person feels as though they love you. They feel as though they would do anything for you. They would work on anything you ask them to work on. They feel very strongly, though, like you have a wandering eye, or you want to explore your options, and they wish that you would be more forthright with that, or they wish that... And I also kind of get the feeling with the Page of Wands and then the Eight of Wands that there might even be a desire to like travel here, or there's an issue with traveling where you're always gone, you're in and out. With the Page of Swords and the Two of Cups, it's like all they want to do is explore these feelings that they have with you. They want to explore the love that they have and know that it's returned, it's reciprocated. They want it to be something that you two dive into together. But they don't feel like that's the case. With the Five of Pentacles and the Three of Wands, it feels like no matter what they do, they could put out so many different ships and they would always return. They could send out so many different ships to sea in order to find treasure. And every single ship, no matter how many times they do it, no matter how many different approaches they take, come back empty. They feel a little bit of rejection. With the King of Cups and then the Two of Swords reversed, it's like they know what they want, they know how they feel, but there's nothing that they can do. It's not a decision that they can make. And so even though they know, they still feel stagnant. And with the Queen of Swords here, they feel kind of like a little bit cut off, or a little, they feel like they want to be in the warmth of your heart space, but rather they're in the coolness of your logic. Let's go ahead and see what it is that they desire. We have green. They desire growth. Growth for this connection. What do they desire? Okay, and then we have number 77, the sword. This came out for pile 2 as well, and I'm getting the same message. They're desiring for you to make a decision. Regardless of what that decision is, they just want to know. They don't want to be in limbo anymore. Like, if you don't want them, they'd be okay with that. And then this wasn't the same card that came out, but it was the same message from pile 2 again. They desire to be with you. They're so very, very attracted to you. And then we have puppet. They want to stop feeling as though they're being played with. They don't want to be played. When it comes to what their next move is, we have 62, attention to detail. I'm getting the feeling that this person is really wanting to step into their power and start paying more attention to whether or not what's going on between the two of you is something that's deepening genuinely, or if it's just surface level. They're really starting to pay more attention to the details of this connection, because they want you, but they also want to be happy. Let's go ahead and get some advice. What advice is there for pile 4? Okay. Clarity. Stopping to listen to my inner self, I can easily separate my intuition from my mental chatter. The clarity of my intuition is a sweet, simple fruit that tastes familiar, and the mental chatter is a confusing, bitter rind that I shall peel off and chuck into the garbage or compost heap if your mental chatter happens to be organic. And we have good things to come. There are so many amazing gifts coming my way. I can't see them now because I respect the general convention of not peeking under wrapping paper, but they will show up when the time is just right, and that's when I'll remember how much fun it is to be surprised. All right, pile 4, well, this is what I'm seeing for you today. If this resonated, I would love to hear about how it did in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for giving me this chance to read for you. This is something that I truly enjoy doing, and I hope that I'll have the chance to read for you in another video soon. Bye!